Most people are about to miss the best entries of this cycle again. Right now, the market is shaking people out, but I found 11 altcoins that are massively undervalued, breaking out or just about to. If you don't know what's coming, you'll buy too late or sell too early, which will result in you losing your money while others will multiply their bags. So in this video I show you which coins to buy, why they matter, and how to time your entries. And by the end of it, I will reveal the one I'm betting on the hardest. Do me a favor, press the like button, let's get into it. First on the list is BitTensor Tau, which is an AI coin out there. It has insane fundamentals from my point of view, and it's one of these AI coins that actually does something, right? Because I'm not a huge fan of render, to be honest. It's definitely nice to have this type of a large behemoth at the forefront of all of the AI coins, but the fundamentals and the functionality of that is quite questionable in the first place, right? What I like with Tau is that there is a chance that some of the Tau subnets will actually be able to achieve product market fit. And do you know what happens right after? It pumps like crazy. With Tau being the underlying token of the ecosystem, it receives a bunch of attention, a bunch of liquidity essentially as well. So something that happened to virtual might be happening here as well. And this thing is just a piece of technology, 100%. So what we see here is on the last 7 days, it actually is up from $220 till $340. It's one of the best performances in the marketplace at this stage. It showed 50% increase on the course of the last 7 days. Very, very few altcoins actually have done this. This definitely shows the demand on the marketplace for AI coins at this stage. And this definitely shows the strong potential of the fundamentals of this project. You know, a lot of you, what you're trying to probably do at this stage is to catch these low cap plays, have a bunch of different coins, search like and look after influencers. But the interesting thing for those of you who are active at this stage, right, is the way you'll probably outperform is just through getting big chunk of your portfolio, investing into something like this and just forgetting about it. And probably with a high fucking chance by the end of the cycle, you will actually outperform in comparison to all these trading actions, leverage loans and things like that. And the toughest thing about this part is that what you have to do is that you would just have to sit there and do nothing, which is the hardest thing to do when you are in this market. 100%, I tell you that I wished I would have just sit there and did nothing. Next thing on the list is Sui. Sui is something that I talk a lot about. I'm constantly saying this is the next Solana, this is the Solana of this cycle, and they do have planned the same manipulation that essentially was happening for Solana in the last cycle as well. The only issue I'm seeing with Sui is that obviously at this stage, they don't have product market fit. They do have the gaming platform, they're trying to do things here and there. I would just say that everything that is happening at this stage is just them kind of artificially trying to pump up the price of the coin. At the same time, we did have seen, I do think, Sui ETF, and we also have seen the support of Sui by the family of Trump, which means that Trump was essentially bought as default crypto QLs out there, and there is a high chance that we will continue to support this thing into the future. On a weekly, what is the price action on the weekly of this thing? It didn't dump as much as Tau dumped, right? But on the weekly, it's only up 20% in comparison of 50% of Tau. And who is actually talking about Tau at this stage? Are you actually paying attention? Are you actually in the market? Did you actually see that one coin out of top 100 coins actually did 50% on the weekly? Something like Tau, right? Sui did 20% already. Next thing on the list is Say. This is something, to be honest, I was not mentioning a lot through the whole time of these projects being on the marketplace. It's layer one essentially. We have a bunch of them, but kind of like they go in pair, like Sui and Say, and they constantly have this interesting mindshare that people have around this chain. People were talking about the parallel implementations this chain has. I'm just looking at the chart. This chart looks lit. This chart looks like we're in the downtrend. Just think about that. We're in the downtrend on this thing since what? Since the 16th of March of 2024. Right now it's April 22nd of 2025. We are more than a year in the downtrend. And right now, I'm telling you, because the thing that you should understand in the current market setup is that, yeah, some coins like Tau, for example, they did 50% already. There's a range of projects on the marketplace that did not move yet. They still have these entries, and the market already gave you a hint. Here, look, this what will be happening next. These things are pumping. Are you going to bet against the human greed? Do you think that these people who are sitting in these coins that were pumping, they won't take profits and they won't reposition to something else in order to make money there as well? Nah, they will do it. You have to always bet on the human greed out there because this is not going anywhere. And this thing being in the downtrend for more than a year at this stage it's a pretty great entry. It's a pretty great loan from my point of view. And the benefit of this as well is that it only has $900 million in market cap in comparison to Sui. Sui has 7.7 billion. FDV here is also better, right? So it's just a better risk-reward play from my point of view. Next thing on the list is not altcoin actually. It's a meme coin. It's Peanut. This squirrel that got killed and kind of helped to win the election as well. Also, look at the chart of this thing. Like, this thing is even more insane, right? This is the daily chart out there. Like, it's pretty insane. It's just flat line out there. You know what happens through these flat lines. It's crucially important to understand what is happening through these flat lines. People that were essentially sitting in this coin before, they are selling and selling and selling. But the fact that we have a flat line means that the sell pressure is not there at this stage, or it's getting absorbed by the buy pressure. At this stage, to be honest, just from the way how flat this line actually looks, you can definitely think that it's kind of probably closer to that. But the market makers around this thing, they're doing something very, very interesting. The volume. Guys, you have to follow the volume. This is one of the main metrics out there. The volume in the last 24 hours is actually up 50%. It does not come out of nothing. I do believe that the market makers of this thing are themselves entering giant longs, and they're trying to hide them on the chart so people won't see before they will actually send this meme coin out there. I do believe that this is something that may happen. And it's not a low cap. You can find it on any exchange that you're using yourself, right? Next thing on the list is Kaspa. Kaspa is moving quite nicely at this stage, right? Since the bottoms, it actually already did close to 40%, which is quite insane if you would ask me, like from 0.076 to 0.093, probably closer to 30% out there, right? Kaspa is just this layer 1 blockchain with a very, very loyal community. This is the coin that was very strong for the bear market. I would say pretty much it was just the only one that was this strong in the bear market. And they also added implementations in terms of the tokens, so some activity might be happening there. I used to hold some of the meme coins that were present on the Kaspa chain out there. I do believe it also should be reversing and definitely showing sign of strength. The only thing I don't like on the chart is that accumulation on this thing. It didn't happen much in comparison to other things that I was sharing. For example, say we're in the downtrend for more than a year at this stage, which means that just if we're changing the trend, which to be honest is a hard bet, right? Because of the fact that it was not changing the trend for all this time before, right? We will be pumping like crazy. On this thing, obviously, if it will be following the market, it will be giving you access, but does it have enough fire at this stage to really go like really above all-time highs and things like that? That's a question. Just because of the fact that personally, I did not see a lot of accumulation happening, but at the same time, it might be a good thing because it just means that there is a demand for this asset on the marketplace. People don't want to sell this asset. People just want to hold and see the price appreciate. Next thing on the list is actually Fartcoin, a beast of a meme coin at this stage. 1.07 currently, $1 billion. One guy is actually up $5 million on his leverage loan on this thing at this stage, which is absolutely insane. He pretty much long this from around $200 million in market cap. It's hard to say about the potential of this thing moving further, right? Because market, again, guys, do not bet against human greed. Will market decide just to keep buying Fartcoin and just push Fartcoin, or will people that actually made it big on Fartcoin finally take profits and push it into some other coins? And I will tell you the coin, I will actually tell you the coin that people are repositioning currently from Fartcoin into this coin. And there is definitely at least 1.52x that you can actually catch from my point of view in this coin with size. I'm talking about huge size, right? Don't think like it's just a 2x with size. If you add a bit of leverage, just nice. And the fact with this type of coins is that you are actually catching this liquidity right at the start of the bounce, right at the start of the market bouncing and market reversing, which means you are in a privileged, way better position out there. Other people in all of these different projects, they're sitting there and they're praying. They're praying for your liquidity to come. And they're praying and they're trying to persuade you, hey, come buy into my project. But you who have this additional liquidity at the start of the run, you get to choose and you get to multiply it. This is the most important thing out there in terms of these type of runs. Get liquidity early. The value of early liquidity when implemented properly is just insane. And at the same time, if you got early liquidity, you can just chill out. You get early liquidity, you just put it, I don't know, like 2-3x leverage on Ethereum. You want this cycle, you don't have to do nothing else right after. So this is the situation about Fartcoin at this stage. I do believe that we will be seeing a bigger market bounce from here. I do think that no one is prepared for that, but I don't believe that Fartcoin will continue to outperform like crazy. We'll definitely hear a lot about it, mainly because people that bought early, they will scream about this thing out there. But see 2-3x on Fartcoin from here does not do much, to be honest. The thing that people actually reposition into from Fartcoin at this stage is Popcat. Popcat is an OG meme coin on Solana at this stage. On the course of the last 7 days, it actually also up closer to 50%, which is pretty insane. It's like pretty similar to Tau. And I do have a feeling, because I've also have seen some Fartcoin whales out there. They are actually buying this thing. They're actually repositioning into this thing. One of the Fartcoin whales just said, from the period of Popcat being in the market cap of $150 and $250 million, I put $500,000 into this coin, right? This is the thing that Fartcoin whales are essentially doing at this stage. So I do believe this is a very nice and great choice for your larger meme coin back exposure. I do believe it's still going to outperform most of the altcoins out there. That's why I'm saying, like, right now, 2.53x out there is very, very great with Popcat. And probably the pump of Popcat, what it will do, it will essentially kick off the cat meta in terms of the meme coins out there. This is something that for you guys who are essentially trading meme coins, I would also look into cat meme coins currently at this stage. Next thing on the list is honestly something that we have never seen kind of any movement, any signs of life for quite a long time. So like this pump, it generally just, I was not ready to have seen that, right? This is IMX. This is the biggest gaming coin, layer 2 gaming infrastructure. You can also see that since the exact bottoms on the 7th of April, what we are seeing currently is that this thing is up 50%, even more than 50% at this stage. It's very unusual. Look at this volume. The volume is up 180% on the last 24 hours. Again, look at this chart right after. This thing is in the downtrend since 13th of March 2024, more than a year at this stage. Guys, I'm telling you, we are actually going to enter the season right now where a lot of these coins that were in the downtrends for more than 365 days, for more than 400 days, they will be having crazy reversals. Why? I can tell you that because for 400 days, all the people who were shorting these coins, they were making money. The market told them that this is the way you make money. You shorten each and every bounce. And this is exactly the way how these things are going to reverse. And like, if you just look at this chart, they are absolutely insane. This is just a work of art. I do think that most of these things are actually going to reverse. And I do believe that a lot of these things are actually going to do quite well. One benefit you are actually getting with IMX as well is that it's quite an older coin. It essentially appeared in the marketplace at the end of the previous cycle, right? And FDV of this thing is actually equal to market cap, which means that you don't have early investors or VCs to dump on you. I do believe we finally should be seeing the reversal in terms of gaming coins, and this is just a very strong sign. Very few alts in the last 7 days actually showed 50% increase. IMX is one of them. Again, guys, this one I was quite shocked and surprised to see it performing. It's almost like I'm going back into 2024, end of 2023. What is Stacks? Stacks is the biggest layer 2 project on Bitcoin at this stage. What was Stacks before for the initial run on Bitcoin? Because if you were here in the end of 2023 into 2024, you probably was finding yourself in a situation where nothing was pumping except Bitcoin and meme coins. Bitcoin was just running by itself, right? And we had this thing called Bitcoin ecosystem, ordinals, different things. Like, it was pretty nerdy and it was pretty hard to understand, despite the fact I essentially took my time to understand this thing perfectly. And Stacks is the oldest layer 2 on BTC at this stage, which was actually moving in the market as a leverage play on Bitcoin. Each and every time BTC was going like 5-10%, Stacks was going 15-30%. And that's why I'm saying it's very interesting to start seeing the correlation of this thing coming back, because what we can see on the weekly, Stacks is one of the greatest performance, along with IMX, which is, I don't know, it's insane. Along with Fartcoin, which is all right. Market is definitely focused on this thing. And along with Kaspa, all right, which is also insane. Stacks plus 25% on 1 week at this stage. I do believe that it's probably like one of your easiest choice out there. With BTC move up, it will just most likely continue to move up as well. So you can just allocate into this thing and just sit there and just be calm, be confident. And I do believe, honestly, on this thing, we'll probably have seen the bottom already. and this was the lowest peak bottom out there, 0.5. Next thing is Hyperliquid. This thing that a lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are hyping up on this marketplace. The market cap of this thing is $6 billion at this stage, which is something I don't like much from one point of view. From other point of view, there is a very low amount of projects in crypto. Listen to me, this is important. There is a very low amount of projects in crypto that actually generate revenue. Hyperliquid is on-chain DEX, which essentially have all of these functionalities in terms of leverage trading, things like that, and they have a bunch of whales actually trading on the platform. They generate insane amount of money. And the best part about this platform is that portion of this money they actually use to rebuy the coin on the platform, and the portion of this money they actually use to give airdrops to the loyal users of the platform that generate a bunch of volumes for the platform itself. This is honestly a great thing about the whole situation about this platform, and it's also quite popular between like Solana folks, between people who are focused on Solana ecosystem, like to participate there and play with some coins on Solana. Again, I don't like the length of the consolidation of this coin. I don't like that it probably was not dumped much because people were like, just compared to something like Say, right? I'm not asking to compare from the fundamentals point of view. I'm just asking to compare from the chart point of view. Chart of Say, from my point of view, in case of reversal, definitely looks stronger and definitely should be providing way more access than this thing, for example, because this thing, I do believe you will get moderate access. But if you're thinking about getting into proper project with proper revenue, probably once the liquidity from stock market will come, they will be buying something like this 100%, right? This is just this thing that pretty much unkillable, I would say. Last but not least, I have to talk about Heroes of Mave here. It's almost the only altcoin I'm actually holding myself. The reason I'm doing that is because historically, from my point of view, the things that I've seen on the chart is actually was following the chart of IMX quite nicely. It's been like consolidating right now at this stage, but I do like the fact that this is the real product out there. This is the real game with real users, and I do believe that gaming sector is actually still going to become one of the best outperformers out there in terms of the whole cycle out there, because from my point of view it will be meme coins and maybe, just maybe, gaming coins at a certain stage of the market as well, because from my point of view gaming is just best type of coins for retail out there to get into. So like gaming are your meme coins for retail, because in order to play meme coins you still have to like be in the market, you still have to understand the trends, like you have to be connected and things like that, right? With gaming coins it's a bit different, and retail, default people out there like new cycle commerce, they definitely love these coins out there. This is the overview, guys, and if you would get anything from this video here today, please get this thought. Most likely we reversed. We have seen the bottom. I want you to really realize that we have seen the bottom already. The later you buy, the worse it will essentially be for you, because it will probably result in you seeing other people. And this is something I've done in the previous cycle. I was seeing other people saying like, oh, I got like 30x on that coin, I got 40x on that coin, and I only got 3x. I only got 4x. And I was sitting there thinking, man, I should probably hold more because I want more access, the same as these guys. What happened? These guys, they were eventually dumping on me, taking my money from me eventually, while I was sell-shamed into holding. Don't make this mistake. In order to not make this mistake, you actually have to buy early, so you will be fine with the profits you will have closer to the top of the cycle. You will sell and you will take your money out of this market, because this is the most important thing out there. Thank you very much for watching this one. Stay healthy and rich, and I shall be seeing you tomorrow.